I never expected to be fired from my job until the CEO discovered my secret. I will never forget the day everything fell apart. The knot in my stomach twisted tighter with each tick of the clock. My heart raced like a wild horse. The office buzzed with a strange energy. Whispers slithered through the air like smoke, hinting at something big, something dark. I felt it in my bones. I glanced at my friend Mia. Her eyes were wide, reflecting the unsteady tremor in my hands. She couldn't know. No one could. Just a week before, I had stood in that very same office, basking in the fluorescent glow after closing a major deal. My coworkers cheered, clapping me on the back. I smiled, but inside, a storm brewed. I carried a secret that gripped me. Day by day, it clawed at my heart like a stray cat seeking shelter. I had promised to shield my family from my past. The shattered pieces of my life, homelessness, addiction, regret. To the company, I was a rising star. To my family, I was a hero. A painful juxtaposition. My fingers trembled over the keyboard, typing reports while my mind wandered. There, beneath my brimming confidence, fear simmered. That day, I could taste the fear in the air, sharp and metallic. Then came the unannounced meeting. Bombarding flashes of uncertainty danced in front of me as I walked into the conference room. The CEO stood there, a shadow casting over my accomplishments. "We need to talk," he said, the words echoing in my ears like a death knell. I stood frozen. The room fell silent, eyes darting between us. I could feel their judgment, heavy as a lead weight. It was the kind of silence filled with dread, the kind that suffocates you. My heart pounded louder than the footsteps echoing behind me as I backtracked to my seat. Were they aware? Did the whispers have substance? Then it happened. The CEO leaned in, eyes piercing through me like 1,000 daggers. "You are not who you say you are." Those words sliced through the silence. My stomach dropped. It was all unraveling. My secret, my shield, was collapsing in an instant. Time slowed down. I felt cold sweat trickle down my spine. The walls seemed to close in. I searched for a way out, for a glimpse of hope. But there was none. All eyes were on me, waiting for the fallout. I saw Mia, her mouth slightly ajar. The shock visible in her expression hit me like a punch. And in that moment, I knew I would lose everything. My job, my friends, my family. For what? An illusion I had built? I could barely breathe. As I gathered my thoughts, crumbling under pressure, I realized they'd pulled the rug from under me. But who had told them? How had my past leaked into the present? Just as I opened my mouth to defend myself, a loud crash erupted from the hallway. Distant shouts followed, drowning my fear in a new wave of chaos. What was happening? My mind raced. The world outside was crumbling as my past tangled with my present. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The cacophony from the hallway crashed into the stifling silence of the conference room, reverberating like a distant storm. I blinked, disoriented, pulling my fragmented thoughts together. The CEO's eyes flickered with irritation as he turned to the door, his authority momentarily interrupted by whatever chaos was unfolding outside. Mia was still staring at me, her gaze heavy with confusion and concern. I wanted to shout that it wasn't what it seemed, to tell her to trust me, but how could I? The truth was a treacherous beast, one that I had kept chained for so long that it had grown claws and teeth. "Stay here," the CEO commanded, lifting an eyebrow before striding toward the door. As the heavy frame creaked closed behind him, I was left suspended in the oppressive atmosphere, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry insects. Panic knotted in my chest. I could practically feel my past clawing at my heels, ready to drag me back into its depths. Yet, something about the chaos outside sparked a flicker of hope. What if it could buy me time? What if the distraction could help me gather myself? I needed clarity. I couldn't go down without a fight. Mia shifted her weight uneasily in her chair but stayed silent, caught between apprehension and support. I could sense her struggle, her desire to offer comfort, but she, too, was trapped in the web of uncertainty. And then, like a gentle whisper on the wind, a thought took root in my mind. Maybe there was a way to share my truth, but on my terms. My heartbeat slowed slightly as I felt the sharp edge of determination pierce through the fog of my fear. I could feel the weight of my decision looming, the future teetering on the brink. It would mean risking everything, confronting my past head-on, and dismantling the image I had so carefully constructed. But could I do that? Was I strong enough? The door swung back open, and the CEO returned, flanked by security personnel. His demeanor had shifted. He was no longer just a shadow looming over my life but the bearer of a sentence. He scanned the room again, and the moment his gaze landed on me, dread coiled tightly within my gut once more. "We'll resume this discussion later," he said, voice tinged with cold finality. "For now, we have a situation to address." He gestured toward the exit, motioning for me to leave. The suddenness of it left little room for resistance. My heart raced again, this time fueled by adrenaline, as I stood. As I walked past Mia, I caught the whisper of her voice just above. "Then, we'll talk later, okay? I am here for you." It was a simple pledge of support, but in that moment, her words wrapped around me like a warm embrace, granting me a brief respite from the turmoil inside. Outside, the chaos was palpable. An unusual gathering of employees buzzed together, their faces painted with a mixture of concern and curiosity. Whispers filled the air, snippets of conversation mingling with the muffled sounds of sirens in the distance. The anxiety in the atmosphere punctuated the chaos of my own life. I was led away from the crowd, the echoes of my heart drowning out any reason as I wondered if this was it, if my secret was about to be exhumed wholly in the light of day. But there, at the edge of the crowd, a familiar face emerged, and time froze. It was Jake, my childhood friend who had been part of my dark, secret past that I had fought so hard to bury. His eyes locked onto mine, a deep well of understanding swirling in his gaze. But before I could process the implications of his presence, he turned and began to walk away. "Jake," I called, my voice cracking as I fought to break through the noise, my feet instinctively moving toward him. What was he doing here? Did he know? Had he come back to reveal all the pieces of my shattered life? But he didn't turn around. The weight of his silence echoed louder than any words he might say. As I stumbled forward, desperation clawed at me, one last flicker of hope dissipating into the thick air. I was sidetracked by the frantic movements of the crowd, forming a barrier between us, faces twisting with a mixture of alarm and intrigue. In that charged moment, standing on the fragile precipice of chaos and clarity, I felt the overwhelming urge to scream, to lay bare my soul for all the world to see. But what if I lost everything in the process? What if exposing my secrets only drove the final nail into my coffin? The churning of emotions rose within me as the echoes of the past flooded my mind, threatening to consume me whole. As I stood at the intersection of fear and vulnerability, a newfound revelation surged through me. There could be no stepping forward without facing the shadows lurking behind. But just as I was about to push through the crowd, a loud, piercing scream rang out, capturing everyone's attention. I felt my heart race once again, past and present colliding in a tempest of uncertainty. I turned to see the source of the terror, and the horrific truth began to dawn on me. The looming threat did not just rest on my shoulders, but hung over us all like a dark cloud ready to unleash its storm. The secrets we buried often have a way of rising to the surface, dragging everything down with them. As the realization dawned on me, panic seeped in, and the crowd surged forward, confusion reigning supreme. My world was unraveling again, tighter than before, and with it came the chilling awareness that I might not be the only one facing everything I had tried to escape. The scream echoed backwards in time, reverberating through the hallways of memory I had locked tight. I could feel the sharp edges of my regrets cutting into the fog of present worry. The crowd shifted, a wave of panic pushing toward an unseen horizon, yet within me, the tempest was only just beginning. Stay calm. Everyone, please remain calm. The CEO's voice cut through the chaos, but it was laced with desperation rather than command. I caught glimpses of fear on the faces of my colleagues, people who had trusted me, believed in my integrity. Those expressions twisted the knife deeper, stoking the flames of my anguish. Fighting against the surge of bodies, I squinted, desperate to find Jake again amidst the chaos. When ID called his name, I had wanted answers, but now I dared not think of what those answers might bring. He had been part of my childhood, his existence was woven into the tapestry of the person I had tried to become. Yet, what would he think of me now, cloaked in this burgeoning scandal? Just then, I felt a gentle hand on my shoulder, and I turned to see Mia's supportive smile, though it trembled like the very ground beneath us. "Well, figure this out together," she said, her voice barely audible above the commotion, but rich with determination. In that moment, the stubborn glimmer of hope ignited once more. Just knowing I wasn't alone made the burden more bearable. Maybe we could navigate this storm after all. Look. Someone shouted from the back, their voice trembling as it sliced through my racing thoughts. "It's an active shooter." At those words, the room seemed to contract, and I was caught in a vice of terror. My body moved before my mind could catch up. I glanced around, assessing the exits. The reality of the concealed threat within the walls I had come to regard as my professional sanctuary sent icy tendrils of dread wrapping around my heart. "Mia, we need to get everyone to safety," I urged, strained to be a leader in a moment of fear I'd never prepared for, eyes pooling in my stomach. But with each second that ticked by, the scenario in front of me transformed from ordinary chaos to a potential nightmare. Then, as if to serve as a grim reminder of my haunting past, a shadowed figure emerged from the throng. My breaths grew shallow as recognition seized me. It was a man who had once threatened everything I had worked so hard to build, a man whose presence haunted the corners of my past. My blood turned cold as I wondered if this was a cruel twist of fate. Had I inadvertently brought this dark specter right back to the surface of my life? "Everyone, evacuate." The CEO's voice thrummed with authority, cutting through my hedge of memories and present horror. But all I could focus on was Jakith's unfulfilled promise of his link to my past and whether I had enough strength to tear away those shadows. As Mia pulled two frightened interns toward the exit, I spotted Jake again, lingering just out of reach. His eyes bore into mine, laden with a million unspoken words. Was he here to rescue me from the quagmire I had become? Or had he come to peel back the layers of my history I had fought so hard to bury? Jake, wait. I cried out, my voice hoarse with desperation. But my plea was lost in the swell of the crowd, and I knew then that the moment I had been waiting for was slipping away. Panic ebbed and flowed like the tide, and I felt small and powerless against its onslaught. Go. Mia urged again, her grip tightening around my wrist, pulling me away from the crowd. Her insistence, though wise, stoked the burgeoning inner chaos. I was on the cusp of a revelation between fleeing the fear of my current reality and seeking the truth staring me down. And then, a gunshot echoed, sharp and staccato, piercing through the chaos like a beacon that lit a path to my deepest fears. Time stretched as it sliced through the world around me, fragmenting everything into pieces I couldn't comprehend. I barely registered the screams that followed, drowned beneath an avalanche of memories I had chosen to forget. I stumbled, nearly losing my footing, as a wave of employees pushed back through the thrumming doors. My chest constricted around the knowledge that the chaos was intensifying. And yet, the most profound dread settled in as I began to realize that this was not just about me anymore, it was about everything I had left unresolved, every messy segment of myself I had buried in anger and shame. In a flash, Mia's eyes locked with mine. Together, we stood on the brink of a truth that refused to be hidden any longer. The burdens we shouldered felt far heavier than just our individual fears. They were intertwined like roots of ancient trees deep in the earth. Let's go, she insisted, dragging me back toward a possible exit. But even as I turned, my heart pounded with the knowledge that the moment of reckoning was upon us. And then came the earth-shattering realization that echoed in my mind, looping over and over again. If I ran away now, from these moments, from Jake, from my past, would I be able to face a future I had orchestrated with trembling hands? Or would I ultimately become nothing more than shadows, echoes of a life I had never truly embraced? As we rounded the corner, the sirens screamed louder, the confusion palpable, and through the screams and chaos, a voice cut sharply beneath the "Then I know your secret." My heart plummeted, and a new wave of uncertainty crashed over me. Secrets were rising from the depths, and as I stole a glance back at the chaos where my past and present collided, I knew this was only the beginning. Desperation ignited inside me. If I didn't confront the shadows now, they could consume not just me but everyone I cared about. The sirens wailed as I stumbled into the dimly lit hallway, my heart a frantic drum echoing the looming dread that twisted in my gut. Panic churned with indignation. I hadn't just been fighting to save myself from external chaos, but from the very truth that threatened to unravel everything I had created. Mia, we have to get out of here, I gasped, my voice shaky as we pushed against the tide of fleeing bodies. The air was thick with an amalgam of fear, adrenaline, and a delicate scent of smoke that curled around us like tendrils of grasping hands. Each step carried the weight of revelation, and I could practically feel the fractures in my resolve splintering further with every breath. But even in the fear-fueled chaos, Jake's words lingered, echoing ominously like a chime in the darkness. I know your secret. The weight of that revelation pressed down on me like an anvil, leaving me gasping for clarity amidst the tempest of uncertainty. Did he truly know, or was it a tactic meant to distract me? Did he come to confront me or protect me? Each question ricocheted in my mind, a painful reminder that the past had a way of haunting the present. Over here, Mia shouted, dragging me toward a door marked with an emergency exit sign that flickered with discordant light. I took one hesitant step and then another, the pounding of my heart matching the rapid thud of retreating footsteps behind us. Just as we reached for the door, a commotion erupted from the far end of the corridor, a distraction that drew the panic-stricken crowd outward, away from the offices, yet I felt an unshakable pull to look back. Let's go, Mia insisted, a note of urgency sharpening her words. Yet that urgency was met with a pang of rebellion inside me. I couldn't simply run from Jake or the past that I had tried so desperately to compartmentalize. I have to know what he meant, I confessed, my voice a fragile whisper beneath the shriek of sirens. It felt absurd to utter, but the sudden clarity of my need ignited a flicker of hope beneath the quilt of anxiety. Is it worth the risk? She countered, a mixture of concern and frustration threading through her tone. What if he truly does know? What if he's not here to help? Perhaps her caution was justified. Perhaps the unpredictable storm of secrets had only brought destruction. But wasn't it better to confront the tempest than to hide from it, no matter the consequence? I felt tethered to Jake, a connection forged through histories and heartaches, and the thought of running away now felt like a betrayal to not only myself but to what we had once shared. We can't just abandon everything, I argued, feeling a swell of resolve. I can't let him control the narrative. Mia hesitated, torn between fear for my safety and a dawning understanding of my resolve. Fine, she relented, her expression softening, though her eyes still bore the weight of concern. But we stick together. No matter what happens. Nodding, I turned back toward the heart of chaos, where uncertainty thrummed like a raw nerve. Adrenaline surged through me, pushing me to face Jake and his burden of knowledge, no matter the cost. As we made our way back, the sounds of shuffling feet and whispers grew louder, wrapping around us in a cocoon of tension. It felt surreal, this intertwined web of fear weaving itself with memories I had long buried. Each step toward the source of chaos churned my stomach and ignited memories of Jake, laughter in the schoolyard, shared secrets beneath starlit skies, moments that had now turned into specters. Then I saw him, standing amidst the chaos with an intensity that sent a jolt of recognition through me. The look in his eyes was not cold, it was pained, as if he understood the weight of all the secrets that hung between us. Jake! I called, my voice barely rising above the clamor. He turned, searching for me amid the swirling crowd, and for a moment, everything else faded. Noise, the panic, the bullets of betrayal. Don't come any closer, he shouted, his face a canvas of tumult. I need to say something, I can't hold it in anymore. The urgency in his voice had a way of drawing me forward against my better judgment. I felt compelled to draw near, to decipher the meaning beneath the clash of emotion that threatened to drown me. But just as I took a step, a frantic shout rang out from the back, he's here. He's got a gun. The words detonated in the air, leaving a raw silence that ricocheted with shock. I froze, heart slamming against my ribcage as everyone around me erupted into terror once more. In that heartbeat of horror, memories clawed their way to the forefront. My childhood, my mistakes, the love I had lost, and dread clawed at my throat. Mia! I cried, fear clutching at me. We can't, but it was already too late. The crowd surged like a tidal wave, shoving us backward just as Jake's terrified eyes locked onto mine. I could see the urgency, he was desperate, fighting against the tide of chaos, but the emotions swirling between us were eclipsed by the throbbing fear around us. And then there it was again, the chaos, the danger, the threat, spiraling steadily toward us as I realized I was faced with a choice that would fracture my world once more. Do I run away from my past or step into the truth, bracing for the storm that lay ahead? As the world unfolded in front of me, I could see Jake's mouth moving, but the surrounding screams drowned him out. I had to know. I couldn't let this moment escape me. But the crowd was closing in, pushing us apart, threatening to sever the fragile thread between us. Wait! I shouted, desperation rising within me like a tidal wave just as the doors crashed open behind us, revealing the chaos of the world outside. In that unfathomable moment, truth and fear collided, and I was left standing on the precipice of everything I had ever held dear, wondering as the room spun, was I strong enough to confront both, or would I lose everything in the choice I was about to make? The atmosphere was electric with fear, each scream a thunderclap echoing in my ears, spinning my world into a blur. I could barely catch a breath, the taste of panic pooling in my chest as I fought my way toward Jake. I had to reach him before the storm swept him away, before he became just another casualty in a war that had originated in my own heart. Stay close, Mia shouted, her grip tightening around my wrist as she struggled against the tide of fleeing bodies. I could feel her anxiety radiating through me, a tether that kept me grounded even as the chaos swirled violently around us. We have to make it out, not without him, I shouted back, my voice raw and desperate. I didn't even glance back at Mia, my heart aching for the pain I was pulling her into. But I couldn't abandon the one person who held the keys to my well-shackled secrets. I pushed on. Each step pulled me deeper into the emotional battleground of my past, forging new scars as old ones ruptured. Jake was still locked in place, his eyes wide with fear and determination. I surged forward, the sea of bodies swirling dangerously around us like a vortex. Another shout ricocheted through the crowd, igniting the fraying strands of my thoughts into sheer panic as I fought to keep my focus. Please, just give me a second, he cried, urgency coloring his voice. Jake. I finally reached him, my hands gripping his arms firmly. The world didn't matter at that moment. It was just him and Mia, fragile flicker of connection amid chaotic paranoia, two souls adrift together. I could feel the heat radiating off him, a living reminder that I wasn't alone. Mia, he shouted over the noise, his eyes wild with a mixture of emotions, fear and anger battling within them. What is she doing here? She's my friend, I stammered, desperately trying to bridge the gap. But the truth hung heavy between us like a leaden fog we couldn't disperse, as if each half-formed explanation threatened to implode under the weight of everything unspoken. Mia? He echoed, blinking as if the name would summon clarity. She shouldn't be here. This isn't safe, neither is hiding, I shot back, unwilling to let go of my fury heart, a cacophony of emotions. You said you needed to say something, we don't have time for this. Jake grimaced, glancing around at the growing unrest, his eyes darting nervously toward the exits. They are coming. You need to leave. Leave? I felt a deep-seated anger boil within me, seemingly insurmountable. You are not the one who gets to decide what I do, Jake. Not anymore. It was a life-altering declaration, the truth of my heart spilling over the edges in a torrent I had desperately tried to hold back. His face contorted with agony, and I could see the battle raging inside him, a simulacrum of the boy I once loved and the man he had become. You don't understand. I can't, he began, before the crowd jolted again, panic surging anew through every body present. Then came the voice, sharp and commanding, cutting through the thrum of chaos. Get down. Before I could process the looming shadow advancing, a gunshot rang out, shattering the fragile moment between us like glass. My insides twisted with horror as instinct kicked in, and I threw myself to the ground, dragging Mia with me. Adrenaline surged through my veins, stealing away my breath, but my focus remained on Jake was still standing. Jake. I screamed, my voice fragile against the backdrop of fear. He hesitated, staring at me, his lips parted as if struggling to find words amidst the overwhelming noise. And in that heart-stopping instant, I saw a new understanding fade into his eyes, a silent reckoning that solidified a bond we once shared, a flicker of hope amidst the chaos. Run. He shouted, his voice ringing with desperate authority, his hand gesturing wildly. You have to leave. Please trust me, I won't leave you. I countered stubbornly. It was as if I existed in a time loop, unable to let go of him in a split second when everything threatened to unravel. The crowd erupted again, and instinct propelled me onto my feet, pulling Mia up behind me. We made a mad dash toward the nearest exit even as tears clawed at my eyes, blurring my view. I felt a powerful wrench in my gut as I glanced back one last time at Jake, whose silhouette flickered in the chaos. He was still there, grounded and fighting against uncertain odds. Just before I burst through the door, I caught a glimpse of a shadow overtaking him, a figure that filled me with chilling dread. The realization ignited an icy grip around my heart. Something was wrong, so wrong. And as the moment froze, my world fractured anew. What if I ran, and he was swept away? What if the truth he held inside him was stronger than the horrors we faced now? Outside, the air was filled with cold shadows and sirens shrieking like banshees, piercing my heart with every note. I had escaped one prison only to find myself shackled by another, imbued with dread and uncertainty. Fear slithered through my brain as I turned, knowing I may have just sealed Jake's fate while escaping my own. And then came the gut-wrenching realization, a sickening twist in my stomach as I felt a tremor of betrayal revelation that surged through me, sharpening my own anxieties into clarity. Jake wasn't the only one with secrets. "Where's your phone?" I whispered to Mia, my heart hammering as I shoved past her, knowing what I had to do. Find a way to call the police before it's too late. The crowd began to disperse, yet my heart was still tangled in the chaos. I needed to confront not just Jake, but the choices I had made that had led us here. And just then, something cold gripped me tighter, a piece of paper slipping from my pocket, exposed to the world. I caught it before it fluttered away, glancing down to see the name written in bold script, the CEO of our company. Had Jake contacted me at the worst possible moment, or the best? The power of connection that had once wrapped around us now twisted in my gut like a serpent. And as I stood on the cusp of realization, I could feel the ground quake beneath my feet. The storm was far from over, and it held secrets more dangerous than I could have ever imagined. The cacophony of the chaotic streets began to fade into an eerie silence around me, the sirens receding like a tide. The world felt surreal, as if I had stepped outside of myself, suspended in a moment far too similar to the unfolding nightmare I had just escaped. Mia gripped my shoulders, her eyes wide with equal parts fear and determination, trying to anchor our reality. "What just happened in there? You need to tell me," she implored, urgency weaving through her voice. The grounding warmth of her hands, however, felt like a distant memory as shadows of doubt loomed in my mind. "Jake," I started, but the words evaporated, caught in the bitter mix of adrenaline and despair. I glanced at the crumpled piece of paper still clutched in my fist, the ink smudged but the name still glaringly clear. He was trying to warn me. About everything. About what? I hesitated, feeling the weight of confession settle on my chest like a stone. I had fought so hard to keep my secrets buried, yet all my efforts felt futile against the fear that gnawed at me now. "I don't know." I thought he only. My voice cracked, the pressure of my heartbreak cracking the thin veneer I wore so diligently. What if we lost him? What if he tries to confront the CEO alone? Mia's eyes softened, sympathy mingling with her fear. "You can't blame yourself for this," she soothed, her thumb stroking the top of my hand, a small gesture that radiated warmth and support. "We need to figure out a plan. Let's go to the police, maybe they can help us. We can't wait here." But even as she spoke, dread curled tighter in my gut. There was no going to the police without exposing myself, without revealing the tangled web I had spun around Jake, one fraught with intentions meant to shield him. No, They won't understand, I murmured, the panic rising again. The CEO is connected. They don't care about us, Miyati only care about the company. Then what? Just leave him? Let him go into this alone? Her frustration sparked against the surface of my own tumultuous thoughts. I didn't answer, instead feeling my heart sink deeper into an abyss of uncertainty. The storm of emotions, fear, anger, and guilt began to whirl again, leaving me doubting my instinct to flee. You need to stop running, Mia said finally, her voice shaking but resolute. You think hiding your secrets will protect you? That it will protect him? The truth is coming out, whether you like it or not. You have to confront it. Her fierce gaze broke through my shields, igniting a flicker of the strength I thought I had lost entirely. Perhaps Mia was right. This was an emotional battleground not just for Jake but for me as well. I had to decide now whether to face my fears or succumb to the tide and let them pull me under. Okay, I finally whispered, a wave of resolve washing over me. But we need to be smart about this. We can't let anyone know about the connection between Jake and the CEO, not yet. We have to gather information first, figure out what's really going on. Mia nodded, her instincts kicking in. Let's go to your place. We can access my laptop and dig into anything that might give us a clue. I glanced one last time down the street where chaos had erupted, fear threatening to choke me at the prospect of Jake wandering into that storm without me. I held the paper tightly, as if it could somehow shield me from the repercussions of what I had done. But she was right, staying hidden wasn't an option. With renewed purpose, we sped towards my apartment, dodging the dispersing crowds. Every stranger we passed felt like a potential threat, an unwitting player in a game with stakes far too high. The streets that should have felt familiar now seemed rife with suspicion and foreboding, where shadows seemed to curl menacingly around each corner. Do you really think he'll show up? I asked, trying to mask my own rising panic. What if he's? We need to believe he'll be okay, Mia insisted, her voice steady but a hint of uncertainty laced through. He's smart. He can handle himself. But Mia's words didn't calm the tempest brewing inside me. A part of me wondered if I'd betrayed Jake by prioritizing my fears over his safety. Once we reached my apartment, we locked the door and settled in front of the laptop, the quietness of the room contrasting sharply with the chaos outside. My heart raced, fear and hope fighting for dominance as we combed through emails, conflict of interest reports, anything that might lead us back to the truth about the company's dark corners. Hours passed in silence, the glow of the screen illuminating our anxious faces, but nothing concrete emerged. A thought gnawed at the edges of my mind, whispering doubts that echoed in the recesses of my heart. What if I had made the wrong choice by leaving Jake behind? Suddenly, a loud knock reverberated through the apartment, the sound like a drumroll heralding calamity. Mia and I froze, eyes darting to one another, uncertainty practically flickering in the air. Who is it? I called hesitantly, my voice barely whispering, almost lost in the silence that followed. A muffled voice broke through, its tone urgent and raw, tinged with a familiar note that sent a chill down my spine. It's Jake. The walls of my carefully guarded world crumbled, panic pulsing through every vein in my body. I rushed to the door, the handle feeling cool against my palm as uncertainty thrummed in the stillness around us. Jake stood on the other side, wild-eyed with desperation, his breathing heavy, and the gravity of what lay behind him palpable. Please let me in, he whispered, his voice breaking off as if he feared even speaking would shatter the fragile hold of time. As I swung the door open, ready to pull him inside, an ominous shadow loomed behind him, a figure stepping just out of sight, and my heart plummeted. Jake, what's wrong? I gasped, Desperation tinged in my voice as dread spilled through the threshold behind him, heralding a storm I might never escape. The door swung open, revealing Jake in a state of disarray, his eyes darting frantically over my shoulder, as though he were expecting someone or something to emerge from the darkness behind him. The sight of him brought a surge of relief, yet the urgent weight in his expression anchored my heart to the ground. I stepped aside, allowing him to enter, feeling both fierce protectiveness and an unsettling dread grip me. "Close the door," he said, his voice thick with anxiety. I complied instinctively, locking it firmly behind him as if it could seal away the terror that seemed to seep in through every crack. Mia Jake glanced at her, barely registering her presence as he frantically pieced his words together. "We don't have much time. They know. They know everything." "What do you mean?" I pressed, my pulse quickening. "Who knows? The CEO? Not just the CEO, his whole team. They're going to come after me, and they'll come after you both. We have to get out of here." "What happened in the office?" Mia asked, her voice low and composed, but I could see the way her fingers fidgeted against the edge of the couch. "They saw me trying to access some files that lead back to the corruption I told you about. I thought I could find proof, something to show the world. But they caught me. I barely escaped." A sheen of sweat glistened on Jake's forehead, and I could see the effort it took to keep his composure. Fear clutched my throat, suffocating any rational thoughts. "You've got to tell us everything. If they are looking for you, we need to know how to defend ourselves." Jake ran a hand through his hair, a defeated gesture that spoke louder than any words. "I overheard them discussing a cover-up. They have people on the inside, lawyers, officials, even police. If we try to go to the authorities, they'll know we're on to them before we even start." Panic surged through me, wrapping around my chest in a vice as I felt the ground shifting beneath us, the very foundation of our reality crumbling. "How can we fight against that?" I whispered, the question tasting bitter on my tongue. Mia's hand found mine, squeezing tightly, a reminder that I wasn't alone even in this spiraling chaos. "We need to regroup. We need evidence, something they can't deny. We can't let fear paralyze us." As I looked at Jake, I saw the flicker of determination in his eyes, a reflection of the hope that we were still searching for. But just as quickly, it dimmed, replaced by worry. "I don't want you both putting yourselves at risk for me. I can handle it." "No!" I exclaimed, my voice cracking with vehemence. "You are not doing this alone. We're in this together, whether you like it or not." The conviction in my words hung in the air, mingling with the tension that felt almost tangible. Jake opened his mouth to argue, but Mia jumped in. "We need a plan. If they know you are on to them, they'll be on guard. We have to act fast and smart." As we huddled together, brainstorming a way to sift through the layers of deception surrounding us, a sudden realization struck me. What if one of us had a mole within our circle? What if someone we trusted had been feeding them information? The thought sent a chill crawling down my spine, and I looked at them both intently. Could someone we know be involved? I ventured cautiously. "I didn't think so," Jake said slowly, "but there are always layers you can't see until it's too late." The air turned thick with uncertainty, each of us weighing the implications of betrayal lurking among us. We needed to keep everything close, to trust no one outside our little triad. Then Mia's phone buzzed on the table, the sound jolting us all into a heightened state of alert. She glanced at it, her eyes widening. "It's a message from a private number. Should I open it?" We exchanged terrified looks, the decision hanging heavily in the air. As Jake and I nodded, a sense of unsettling dread called within me. Mia's hands trembled slightly as she clicked it open. The message popped onto the screen, "I know where you are. You can't hide forever." My breath hitched in my throat as the laughter of a dark, foreboding omen echoed in the corners of my mind. It wasn't just Jake who was in danger, we were all marked now. The taste of fear was a bitter reminder that our sanctuary could crumble any moment, but beneath it lay a slug of stubborn hope. We had to stand against the tide, armed with a resolve stronger than the veils of secrecy that enveloped us. Yet, as the reality of the threat pressed in closer, the further my heart sunk. I looked at Jake, the worry etching deeper lines across his forehead, and I realized the gravity of the storm we were about to step into. "Let's figure this out," I whispered, but even in my own resolve, I could sense the impending disaster lurking just beyond the door we'd locked shut. But before we could begin strategizing, another loud knock reverberated through the quiet apartment, deeper and more insistent this time. "Open up. We know you are in there." A deep voice called from the other side, menacing and authoritative. All the adrenaline and hope that had bolstered us just moments ago drained from my body, leaving only fear in its wake. "There's no choice now," Jake said, his voice trembling with urgency. "They are here. We have to go now." As I glanced towards the door, the weight of looming uncertainty threatened to pin me down, and I felt the world spinning as time slipped through my fingers. I might never emerge from what lay ahead. The knocking persisted, growing more aggressive, as though the door itself felt the palpable tension in the air. My heart raced, an urgent drumbeat of adrenaline, while my mind raced through a dizzying array of escape routes that all ended in failure. "Where?" I whispered, glancing toward the small window veiled by thick curtains, too small for 3 adults to fit through, but the flicker of hope momentarily quivered in me. "There's a fire escape in the back," Jake said, his voice suddenly steadying, a cocktail of fear and determination fueling his words. "We can make a run for it if we leave now." "But what about?" I started, but the next knock sent jolts through my bones, keeping my mouth shut in the face of reality. "We can't worry about anything else right now," Jake shot back. There was an urgency in his eyes, an unyielding commitment to protect us. Somehow, amid the chaos, he had found strength in vulnerability, a contradiction that encouraged me to stretch for it too. Mia nodded, though her face was pale and drawn tight with worry. "Let's go. Now." We moved as swiftly as we could, Jake leading us toward the back of the apartment. Each step felt like a countdown to disaster, every floorboard creaking underfoot a reminder of our precarious situation. My mind raced with thoughts of what might be waiting for us outside, yet the desire to escape fueled every nervous step. Reaching the doorway that led to the fire escape, Jake paused and held up a hand. "One moment," he whispered, pressing his ear against the door. Silence enveloped us, a heavy blanket that both guarded and suffocated. "Okay, go," he finally ordered, pushing the door open. The chill of the night air hit us with a force that sent shivers of trepidation down my spine. The fire escape was a narrow, rusted structure that jutted precariously from the side of the building, a lifeline, but also a risk. I could feel the suffocating grasp of fear trying to drag me back, but with a deep breath, I stepped out, trying to keep pace behind Jake and Mia. The clang of footsteps echoed up the staircase, a loud reminder that time was against us. We made our way down, the rickety metal squealing beneath us as shadows from nearby buildings loomed ominously overhead. "Just breathe," Jake said over his shoulder, his voice strained but soothing, always attempting to be a beacon in our swirling chaos. Climbing down felt interminable. If I were to fall, it would be from the precipice of hope I had begun to build, splattering my heart into fragments. Finally, we reached the ground, landing softly on the alleyway floor. I looked around, my heart pounding wildly as I took in our surroundings. Our breath hung in the cold air, and for a moment, it felt deceptively peaceful in stark contrast to the turmoil that had followed us. "We can't stay here," Jake urged, scanning the dimly lit street. "Let's get to my car." Mia grabbed my hand, pulling me along as we broke into a desperate run. The darkness felt alive, ready to swallow us if we dared to falter. Yet, a flicker of trepidation spiraled through me. What if we were seen? What if this was a trap? As we rounded the corner, I spotted Jake's car glinting in the fluorescent streetlight. My heart leapt. "There!" I exclaimed, pointing toward it. But just as we reached the vehicle, a figure stepped into the light, blocking our path. "Jake," I gasped, stopping dead in my tracks. The figure arranged himself casually against the hood of the car, a smirk tugging at the corners of his lips. It was Mark, one of Jake's colleagues from the office, his eyes glinting with a mix of amusement and malice. Well, he said, feigning surprise. "Look who decided to run instead of face the music. This is all quite the show, isn't it?" "Get out of the way, Mark," Jake said, his voice low and warning, but I could sense the undercurrent of panic thrumming beneath. Mark held up a phone, waving it in the air. "You really think you can escape the grip of this? I have just about everyone looking for you. You think you can keep your little secret hidden? It's only a matter of time before your little rebellion collapses." Mia's grip tightened around my hand. "He's working for them, isn't he?" she whispered, her face pale but resolute. Jake stepped forward, a protective wall between us and Mark. "Back off, Mark. You don't understand what you are getting into." "Oh, I think I understand perfectly." Mark stepped closer, and with a quick, devious smile, he added, "Particularly how much you care for these two." My heart dropped into the pit of my stomach, the awful realization of vulnerability crashing down on me. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice shaking. Mark shrugged, as if the answer was trivial. "Word has it there's a large bounty on your heads, but this is a whole new twist. If they go after your loved ones, wouldn't you prefer to sell them out instead?" The room spun, my breath catching as I processed his words. Jake's face paled, his hard expression faltering. "No," he murmured, glancing toward Mia and me, his eyes wide and pleading, desperately searching for a glimmer of hope. Mark's smirk widened as he stepped back, positioning himself as intermediary between our fragile hope and his darker intentions. "I really do enjoy a good show," he taunted, his eyes glinting with something devilish. "Now the two of you have a decision to make. Call it in," or he gestured vaguely, "let the pieces fall where they will." Panic churned within me as fear flooded my veins. How had we ended up in this perilous situation with our lives dangling by a thread? The uncertainty of what lay ahead weighed down heavily on my heart, but one thing was crystal clear: the stakes were higher than I had ever imagined. As dread settled in with full force, I realized this was only the beginning. And as the cold gnawed at my resolve, one resounding thought shattered all others: the fight for our freedom and the truth had just become a dangerous dance of life and death. The cold air wrapped around us, thick with the tension surging from Mark's taunting challenge. I felt as if the world had narrowed, the alleyway tightening like a trap around us. Jake stood rigid, the determination in his posture slowly being overshadowed by the heaviness of Mark's words. My grip on Mia's hand intensified, squeezing out any semblance of comfort I could offer amidst the storm brewing around us. "Jake," I breathed out, shock coursing through me, "we can't. It's not worth it. They'll hurt you, us. The last fragment of my whispered plea felt feeble against the wall of fear. Mark's laughter echoed sharply in the quiet alley, cutting through the thick fog of confusion. Oh, come now. It's just business. Can't get too emotional about these things, he gestured flamboyantly, mocking my turmoil. Besides, I've heard the payouts are quite lovely. You might want to think about my generous offer. I could almost see the gears turning in Jake's mind as he weighed every option, but all I could feel was the weight of the situation settling heavily on my chest. What could be worth selling us out? The mere suggestion sent a wave of nausea spiraling through me. Mia, hold on, Jake said suddenly, turning to her, we need to think this through. If he knows about the bounty, then whoever is after us is close. Her eyes widened in horror, and I could feel her trembling. Then what do we do? She whispered, her voice nearly swallowed by fear. Whatever we do, we can't give in to his games. Jake's voice was firm, fortified by a resolve that seemed to brighten his visage against the encroaching darkness. Mark interrupted, stepping closer, the malicious delight dancing across his features. Ah, I love a bit of theatrics. But playing hardball might not be your forte. You are outmatched here. His voice dripped with mockery. In that moment, I caught the faintest flicker in the distance. A lighter car approaching. My heart thumped heavily in my chest as thoughts raced through my mind. Would it be someone who could help us? Or someone else sent to seal our fate? Jake caught my eye, and I could feel a pulse of shared determination. We're not backing down. Not to you, he said, rising defiantly. What we're fighting for is bigger than what you think you can gain. Mark raised an eyebrow, clearly amused. And just what is that, exactly? I am curious what you think is worth dying for tonight. I opened my mouth to respond, to plead with Jake not to engage. Fear clung tightly to my throat, but before I could speak, the sound of tires screeching echoed through the alley. A dark sedan pulled up sharply, the engine idling aggressively. My stomach dropped as the passenger door swung open. The figure that emerged was shrouded in shadow, but the instant recognition of the tall frame sent a rush of conflicting emotions through me. Jake! Get back! The figure shouted, rushing toward us with agile urgency. It was Sam, my former mentor from the firm, whose unexpected appearance tugged on threads of distant memories filled with warmth and understanding. Everything that now felt impossibly far away. But fear coursed through me. Was this a rescue or betrayal? Mark moved instinctively, blocking our escape before Sam could reach us. You are out of your depth here, Sam, he warned, his confidence not wavering even slightly. Sam's eyes met mine, and in that fraying moment, I saw the depths of his concern. Get to my car. I can explain later. He didn't waste time for pleasantries, urgency propelling him into action. Still, I hesitated. Jake, what if I started, wrestling with a surge of anxiety? This is our chance. He urged, stepping toward Sam, eyes fierce with determination. Let's go. Without fully understanding the dynamics of Mark and Sam's tense standoff, I felt the pull of hope spark bright and violent within me. Desperation propelled me forward, and pulling Mia along, we dashed toward Sam and his car, my heart racing with a tumultuous blend of fear and optimism. Mark's laughter rang out behind us, taunting the silence of the night. Run if you must. But know that the game has only just begun. We dove into the car as the engine roared to life, the door slamming shut with a finality that echoed my racing thoughts. Sam tore down the alley, the glow of city lights flickering past us in a blur. The adrenaline surged in my veins as the realization finally settled in, we weren't safe yet. The shadows of uncertainty loomed larger now that the chase had begun, and Mark's words haunted me, echoing as if they were snippets of a twisted prologue to a tale that had only just begun to unfold. But nestled amidst my fear, a flicker of hope still glimmered, ignited by the kindness of Sam's unexpected intervention. As we sped away, my mind circled around the one thought clawing at my consciousness: what had I done to deserve this kind of protection from someone I once regarded with respect, and was this newfound alliance merely a veil masking deeper, perilous intentions? In that charged moment of flight, the grasp of despair held tight, but the layers of truth began to unravel, and I understood one thing surely: nowhere was safe, but if running was to be our lifeline, we needed to keep running until we reached the end of this perilous race. And yet, with the weight of hidden truths shrouding my heart, I feared what awaited us on the other side of this fractured beginning, because the bloom of hope could all too easily turn to ash. The car's tires screeched against the pavement, the night swallowing us whole as we sped away from danger. I engaged with my emotions, wrestling between hope and despair. I was filled with fear, adrenaline coursing through my veins, shaped by the impenetrable secret that loomed with infinite tension. Jake and Mia sat silently beside me, their eyes reflecting the turmoil that charged the air. I couldn't shake the feeling that each twist and turn of the road was drawing us closer to some inevitable conclusion. Where are we going? I finally dared to ask, my voice a tremor in the overwhelming fear. Sam glanced at me, his jaw set in determination. To a safe place. We need to regroup, he replied, his tone calm yet urgent. Every second felt heavy with uncertainty, the doubts clawed at my insides. What could he know? What was his true purpose in our desperate flight? From the corner of my eye, I saw Jake watching Sam. The tension was palpable, a fraying thread that we all sensed but no one dared to address. You shouldn't have come, Jake finally said, breaking the silence. This might not be safe for you. Sam's grip on the wheel tightened, brows furrowing. I know what I am doing, he replied, though the weight of his voice carried a shadow of doubt. It reassured me somewhat, but my heart beat with an instinctive caution. Mia leaned toward Sam, voice steady despite the fear dancing in her eyes. How did you even know where to find us? She asked, revealing a tremor beneath her composure. Sam was quiet for a moment, the tension radiating from him, and I could almost feel his internal struggle. I always keep tabs on my best talent, he finally said, but the sincerity felt veiled beneath layers of complexity. Heavy silence hung between us, thick and suffocating, with only the sound of tires crunching against the hard asphalt. My mind raced over the chain of events that had put us in this position. I couldn't help but wonder whether my history would be the crux of my demise. Why did you help us? I asked, unable to contain my curiosity. I had to know who Sam actually was to me. Was he a savior or a pawn? His gaze shifted toward me, earnest and serious. You matter to me. If I can help save you from this mess, I will. For the first time, I saw a hint of vulnerability in his steadfast attitude. It was as if he'd shown me a glimpse of the man I once admired, stripped of the armor he wore in the corporate world. My heart suddenly ached. Was this the truth that lay buried under layers of distrust? But there's danger in vulnerability, I knew. In a world of shadows, it's often the clear intention that costs someone dearly. Just as I grappled with these thoughts, the car jolted unexpectedly as another vehicle surged beside us, speeding dangerously. A shiver of recognition surged through me. Mark's face flashed unbidden in my mind, the words of his threats echoing ominously in the recesses of my thoughts. Sam. Duck. I screamed, panic erupting like fireworks inside the car. My words shattered the fleeting moment of solace like glass. Sam reacted, his body instinctively lowering as the taunting vehicle swerved alongside us. The driver was close now, leaning dangerously out the window, a twisted smirk plastered across his face. "Run all you like. You won't escape the truth," he shouted. Fear twisted like a knife in my gut as adrenaline-propelled Uste darkness pursued, eager to reclaim its prize. "Hold on," Sam yelled as he slammed the gas pedal, the engine roaring with power. The car shot forward, defying the chaos clawing at our shadows. I could see the city lights in the distance, but I felt this petrifying sensation of being pursued by my past. The reality of my choices weighed heavily on each moment. "We can't keep running forever," Mia said, her voice laced with fear, a hurricane of emotions swirling like storm clouds. I could see the truth in her eyes, darkness calling in the corners. "We have to confront what's been hidden before it consumes us. Where do we go?" I murmured, the panic creeping back in, as the screeches and sirens faded into the distance. It felt as if the world around me had become eerily quiet, like the calm before a storm. Sam's gaze met mine firmly, his expression revealing nothing, yet everything. "The heaven from your shadows isn't a faraway place," he said softly. "It's confronting the truth among us." Those words struck a chord inside me, resonating with the core of my fears. But could I summon the courage to face those truths? As shadows grew longer around us, and the darkness deepened, I felt a flicker of defiance stirring within me. The knots of anxiety tugged at me, ready to consume my hope. My thoughts landed on Jakithe boy from my past who had shaped my understanding of love, hurt, and acceptance. He had endured so much with me. Could we navigate this storm, guided by our shadows instead of shackling us? I turned towards him, finding him already looking back at me. If I truly wanted to start anew, I had to face the truths that had been lingering in the air like a ticking clock. "I just want us to be free. I want us to be whole." I found my voice steady. "I'd rather face whatever is coming than keep hiding." "What if we work together and lay our truths bare?" Jake nodded slowly, and I saw a flicker of hope dancing along the edges of desolation. "Then we'll reveal our truths together," he said, voice resolute. "If we're going to break free from this, we do it together." Mia squeezed my hand, her determination shining fiercely before she turned toward Sam. "Are you with us?" she asked, the words carrying the weight of our shared decision, our dreams woven together. In that charged moment of reckoning, I saw the vulnerability cross Sam's eyes, the once distant mentor now standing alongside us, a fragile promise to stand together. "Always," he said, the gravity of his word echoing in the air. And just like that, amid the storm, we felt the flicker of resolution light the way forward. As we plotted our course against the darkness that sought to ensnare us, it struck me this had never been just about running from the shadows but reclaiming the light we had long allowed to be hidden. As the dawn crept upon the horizon, painting the sky with brilliant hues, I felt hope wrapping its embrace around us. In the struggle for tomorrow, we stepped forward into the light, bold, vulnerable, and resolute. Whatever lay ahead, we would face together. And beneath the swirling uncertainty, I realized this was where our journey found its true meaning. No longer shackled by the burdens of my past, I could finally feel the possibility of a future brightening behind the shadowed veil. With these newfound reflections, I whispered into the promise of a new day, "Let's tear down the walls together."